Blog Talk Radio.
Joy. Joy is the song of the hours when God caresses your passage through the world. Everywhere flowers bloom as smiles of nature, and the wind combs the field's hair with resting music. The water from the fountain is liquefied care in earth's heart, and the small golden grain of sand is a message of joy from the ground. Do not allow, therefore, that your difficulty transforms itself into numbing sadness for others. Even if everything appears to conspire against the happiness that you await, lift your eyes to the smiling face of life that envelops you, and bolster joy wherever you go. Bless and serve always, even among tears. The rose, although subjugated by thorns, still offers its perfume, and sunrise awaits generously for the night to finish in order to renew itself. Daily, in a party of love and light.
Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio. And now, here's our host, Dr. Vanessa Anceloni.
Welcome, dear listener, to our Christmas program today at Kardec Radio, and we are here with you to talk about Christmas and also the Christmas blues. You know that many people around the world feel the joy of Christmas, but you know, almost 45% of people who celebrate Christmas may feel the blues, the sadness, melancholic feelings that many people don't know why, you know? So it's very interesting for us to observe why this is happening. But, you know, to kickstart our program, would like to share with you a message that our friend Luciana shared with us. It is a message actually by the Spirit Sebastião Lasneal. Here's Christmas. Christmas is life. Through the medium Raul Teixeira. Here's Christmas. Breathing on us now. Bringing blessings from Jesus to the world. Sharing his fruitful love. Christmas that blooms new hope within us. When it's Christmas, our beings anchored in brotherly love. In deep meaning, we seek peace from second to second for our planet that gasps. When it's Christmas, there is always a new song which brings Jesus to help the people. People he never let be alone. Christmas is life that abundantly expresses lesson of heaven that transforms and redeems. If Jesus be reborn, be with us, within us, for us, today and always. You may be asking why many people feel the blues, and we are going to share it with you here today. But before we share it with you, we would like to stream a few messages that the good spirits also brought through Chico Xavier, Divaldo Franco, and many others around the world. And today we have also a special program. We have here with us at our studio our friend Adriano Barbo from the Mount Vernon Spiritist Center. He's going to help us, and many other friends from around the world who have kindly sent their messages of Christmas to you, dear listener, hoping that together we can build a better Christmas, a Christmas of brotherhood, of fraternity. Let us listen to Christmas Wishes by Maria Dolores through Chico Xavier. And after this, many beautiful messages for you.
Christmas Wishes. Lord, our Master, when I was a child, whenever Christmas arrived, I would adorn your name in flowers made of paper and plead to you in prayer, full of hope, that you would send through Santa a new walking or talking doll. Later, as a daydreaming adolescent, I would ask you for a castle of love and illusion for my ideal whenever I saw announcements about Christmas. Even later, as an old woman, whenever I would see Christmas shining at my door and my poor anxiety was almost killing me, I would multiply prayers and plead that you would give me, in my old affliction, the illusion of being loved. Even though, at the end of the road, I was sad and alone. Today, Lord, as a free soul in the hereafter, where solace refreshes me once again before Christmas lights, I thank you in peace, happy and comforted, the surprises of death and the tears of life. And if I may beg of your generosity, never give me what I most want, but give me what is best for me, and the gift of understanding between true humility and peaceful happiness, so that I may look for you day and night, Master of the heart.
Yes, dear listener, it's about Christmas. And what is Christmas all about? You know, it's about the coming of Jesus Christ. But who was Jesus? Allan Kardec, in the Spirit's Book, question 625. The book contains 1,019 questions and answers. In question and answer 625, Allan Kardec kindly asked the spirits. The illuminated spirits were coordinating the efforts of humanity's progress on the earth. Through the mediums of the time, Kardec got an answer for his question. What is the most perfect guide and model that has come to the earth? And they answered with one simple word: Jesus. But Jesus represents the Christ consciousness, which does not belong to him. He is the representative of the divine code on the earth. Universal, the Christ consciousness is an ethical moral code that prevails in the universe according to the illuminated spirits. And he came to us not only to guide us, but also to model the steps for us. It's so interesting because a few weeks ago, we were visiting a good friend, Lisa Cheek. And she is a member of the Spiritist side of Virginia. And Lisa, we were talking to her, and she said, I used to be a tour guide. And I said, wow, that's unbelievable. And quickly thereafter, I thought, well, guide, tour guide, well, Jesus was a guide. So Mentor Joseph said, Vanessa, ask her, what is the main feature for a good tour guide? And, not being the field of this profession, I really didn't know the answer. So I did what a mentor suggested. I asked her, Lisa, what is it that makes a good tour guide? And to my surprise, she said, a good tour guide is the one that knows well his audience, that knows their needs and what they want to do. I was quite surprised because when Allan Kardec asked the question, who is the guide, the best, the most perfect that has come to the earth, they said Jesus. Meaning Jesus knows you more than you know yourself. He knows what you want more than you know what you want. And he is prepared to guide you to the best pathway ever. And I was saying that in our study session at midnight. We're doing this 30 Day of Good News with the Master every day at midnight through Facebook Live / Vanessa Anceloni. And then we're putting it all on YouTube. But we were mentioning it yesterday that some people, they always think they have a better route. You know, some people, they're so funny. They have two GPS at the same time when they're driving. I just wonder why, because sometimes people just want to complicate. They have the car's GPS and the phone's GPS. And sometimes I ask them, why do you do this? Oh, because maybe one is going to give me a better route. But how complicated is it? You're driving. You have to keep your eye on the road. Then you have one GPS in the car and another one on your phone. And you think you're being so smart. But then at the end of the day, it's so dangerous. That's like many people nowadays on the earth. They have Jesus there, but they have their own GPS, thinking that maybe their own GPS is going to beat the route that is being recommended by Jesus. But you know, the good news is, for some may not be good news, but the good news for us is Jesus' GPS is always the best. He's the guidance model. There's no shortcut. There's no way you can reroute it in a better way, because when Judas tried to reroute the recommended pathway, he failed big time. When Peter, denying the route proposed by Jesus, he tried it so hard, he failed too. And no matter how much we attempt it, we're going to fail. Yeah, it's impossible. So Jesus is our guide, and he's not only a good guide, but he's modeling it. He's not saying, go this way and do this and that way. And he says it, and he does it himself. And he says it to us in a chapter that is in the book Good News. Good News. This is what we're celebrating on Christmas Day. We're celebrating chapter 21 of the book Good News, when Jesus brings them all together to tell about their last moments on the earth, his last moments. He clearly says that those who really love the people, they really need not only to point the direction, but also to follow their pathway and leave their anguishes, suffer with them, and the sorrows. Is it because he's a master of suffering? No. But inevitably on the earth, we will suffer. You know why? When you study neuroscience, I am a neuroscience, and one of my expertise is the neuroscience of pain, understanding the neurobiology of pain. And it's very interesting because on the earth, afflictions are what life is all about, as Leon Denis says in the book After Death. Pain is a law on the earth. We can't escape it. But we can reinterpret it, because pain is subjective. It depends on our perception, and people have different perceptions. So Jesus comes to teach us to see life differently. He says, you're going to learn how to change your way of seeing the suffering instead of running away. It's time for us to face it and to have the courage. After all, he says clearly, those who follow the good news must have the three main qualities: joy, hope, courage. Courage to face our difficulties, never run away. Don't run away and escape it by drinking, using drugs, by having, sex without, love, and, by consumerism, by also defense mechanisms that become escape mechanisms as well. Let's face ourselves and stop projecting our shortcomings on other people too. So to give us a little more of it, I'm going to stream to you before I pass the word to Adriano, the words of some friends as well who are not here live but are with us. Let me share. They are in the United States and around the world, and they have been sharing their messages. Let us listen to them. Meanwhile, shall we?
Wishing upon a star this Christmas season. When we look around and see so much pain and suffering, it is inevitable to question, is it Christmas to some and not to others?
Christmas season has arrived, and while my wish is to see the entire world smiling and rejoicing, one cannot simply turn a blind eye to the struggles many face. Syria is a clear example of this. My wish and hope is that all of us share the responsibility to bring Christ back to the hearts that suffer, to those who feel alone, to each and every human being who has forgotten their divine essence.
Let us send a prayer to those who may be listening. You, my dear brothers and sisters, are not alone. The true reason for the season is here, has always been here, and will continue being here as the Good Shepherd. Let us celebrate Him through everyday actions of tolerance, of patience, peace, and love. This is how we will make heaven on earth.
Christmas is not only to be celebrated on December 25th, but every single day of the year. My name is Marcelo Neto.
And my name is Andrea Neto. And together we wish you a beautiful season. And if your heart is heavy, remember,
He came and stated, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Merry Christmas, dearest friends.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Hello everyone, this is Fred Gouveia from Inner Enlightenment Spiritist Society in New York, wanting to leave a very brief message about the holidays and reflect on 2 points that scientists have found that contribute greatly to overall happiness. One of them is gratitude. And gratitude is something that we exercise and practice on a daily basis, like taking a mental inventory of the blessings we have in our lives, which we often forget to remember. And they can be the simplest ones, like fresh air to breathe, fresh water, drinkable water, the fact that the plates of food that we have for our meals always have food in them, the fact that we have a roof over our heads every time we go to bed at night, the fact that we have clothing that's clean and allows us to go out and interact in the world, the fact that we live in places with relative safety, laws that gives us access to opportunities to interact in society, and the list goes on. And when we do a mental inventory of these blessings, we realize that we are so unconditionally loved and cared for by the spirit world and by our Creator. And it fills our heart. It gives us a sense of well-being automatically. It really nourishes our heart. And the other factor is community. And community is so powerful because when we are deeply involved in a community, an intentional community, an uplifting community, an optimistic community, it's like we are in communion with God, with our Creator, and in communion with ourselves. And in the spirit of the holidays, we make these exercises with community to renew the inner Christ, to nourish our hearts and minds. And we share with each other this sense of community, and it provides us with so much encouragement and with so much vitality to continue looking up into the blue sky and being optimistic about everything in life. So even though there may be people that are in a crowded room and feel utterly alone, and there are people who may be in an empty room and feel so fulfilled, whatever the situation may be, reach out to your family members in this holiday season. Overcome any barriers, any lack of dialogue, and reach out to them. not only to your physical family, but to the family in the spirit realm, because there are so many people in the spirit realm that are part of our family, our spiritual family, kindred souls, ties of so much love and deep affection that we have cultivated for centuries and centuries. And many of them are in a position to help us, to cheer us on, to encourage our every step of the way in this journey. And all they require from us is that we reach out to them in a heartfelt prayer, an intense feeling of gratitude, and an intense feeling of wanting to connect with them. And even though we may be totally alone in our homes this holiday season, when we do that, we can allow our homes to be filled with those people, with those hearts that care for us. So gratitude and community. Let's think about that, because those are the two most powerful antidepressants for the holiday season. May Jesus be inside the hearts and minds of every single one of us here and always. Thank you.
Yes, we love our friends being here, sharing with us. But we have more like than 20-some people, friends from around the world, who kindly send their messages. This far, we had Andrea Marcelo from Miami, Fred Gouveia from New York. But we're going to stream the other ones. We have it from Brazil. We have it from Canada. We have it from Germany and England, and friends from around the world who have kindly sent messages to you, dear listener, always trying to nourish your soul. And did you know that Kardec Radio now has a new feature, 24/7 streaming, and it's there. Go to KardecRadio.com, and you can stream 24/7. Programs 24/7. You'll never be alone again, because Kardec Radio is here for you 24/7. You can also listen to us at TuneIn Radio 24/7. Yep. In 2017, Kardec Radio is going to bring new features. Just wait and see. You're going to be impressed, because there is a huge team of more than 60 people around the world working day in, day out to provide to you the best loving quality of spiritist programs for you. Oh, yes. And here, we really talk the universal message, and we don't keep it only to ourselves. We want everyone to really join forces with us, and we recognize that the message of God has come through many, 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 many different labels. And we at Kardec Radio, we walk the talk. We talk to people who say they are spiritists and non-spiritists. You know why? Because the message, it doesn't belong to us alone. And we recognize it and bridge that up. You want to talk more about Christmas, right? And, some people, they ask, why is it that some people feel this sadness during Christmas? And Mentor Joseph was sharing with us that one of the reasons being the fact that we, for several reincarnations, have disregarded the call. Yes. It's not all about labeling ourselves Christians, but it's about walking the talk, walking the invitation of love for God above all things, and for our neighbor as ourselves. A message that we have been listening throughout many reincarnations, but we have despised. And now when Christmas comes and we are we are reminded about that, we feel that inner anguish, that inner sorrow that calls us to change how many lives we have put it aside. Yes, we have forgotten it. We didn't listen, and we actually, worse than not listening and disregarding it, is abusing these teachings for egotistic benefits. How many of us, if not in this life, but in previous lives, have used the pathway of Christianity to actually abuse the system, either through the pathway of becoming a nun or a priest, And we did it for mundane purposes or because we wanted to have some social status, power, and we led the crusades and many other things of the nature, like many people are doing nowadays, abusing the name of God and the masters of all times and the master of all the masters for their own benefit instead of really opening their hearts and loving. So no wonder many of us are going to feel the anguish during this time because we forgot our sacred duties. That's the truth. We're going to listen to more than this. Adriano Barbo is here with us, and he is also helping us understand more about what to do. Fred Gouveia shared a little bit, Adriano. Can you tell us a little bit more, please, about the sadness that people feel during this time of the year?
Hi, Kardec radio listeners. I feel very happy to join you all in this Christmas time. And I'm not sad at all, but I'm sure there's people around the world that are sad, especially because the world is coming through so much difficult. As Vanessa was telling about our past, and we care so much within us that we yet to discover how much we have in us. In that way, of course, in this period of time in which we could be even more joyful, more happier at moments, and we feel these melancholic feelings. But I guess, I'm sure that Spiritism, through the teachings of the spirits and studying of the Christ teachings, is here to help us really recover ourselves from this past and really restructure us to be joyful always. The message of the spirits, especially, talking the mentors, they always tells us to be joyful. And every day in my life I question how to be joyful. I get myself not sad but too much serious, not smiling too much. But every time that I feel that way, I remember of Jesus recommending the disciples, the people, to rejoice because the good news is on earth. Rejoice because God is taking care of us. And in these moments, if we keep our minds always coming to these teachings, understanding, trying to understand, and rethinking them always, and then we'll be creating a new habit in our lives. And Christmas, since it's about Christ was never sad, even the hardest moments. He displayed inner joy because he knew that a new era will be in the hearts of everyone. In that way, despite in the cross, his state here was inner joy because we one day, as we are doing today, are recovering from the evil and really evolving the angels that we are to be. In that way, remembering Jesus, reminding us of his state, we are creating joy. And since December or Christmas time is all about Jesus, no better way to be happy and recover from our melancholic states than thinking on Jesus, his examples, even some of his followers. We could name here Francis of Assisi. He was always joyful, singing, and in the most difficult moments of life, he was singing for pain, singing for everything, and being so grateful for everything. So I don't remember any other example that it was so profound in joy than Francis of Assisi. And so we could take all these examples and try to model them in our lives. In that way, I think we are in a good pathway.
Thank you so much, Adriano. And hello, Jay. You're there. And remember, our line is open, 858-769-4705. We are singing for you because it's Christmas time. Oh, yeah. Friends, it's Christmas. And it's about joy. It's about living. It's about opening our hearts in gratitude for the coming of the most perfect guiding model in humanity. I know some people still struggle. And you know why people struggle talking about Jesus? It's very simple. Very simple, the reason why. Because unfortunately, we have disregarded this message for the longest time, and now we need to feel differently. Yes, now we need to see Jesus from a different angle, from a different perspective, and I think only Spiritism rescues the best of Jesus. Sincerely, I have not read or got to know of any best way to doing it. So right now, dear friends, I'm going to stream more of the messages from friends from around the world. We have here Ricardo Chavez. Ricardo Chavez is a well-known actor who lives in Miami and got to know Spiritism. He kindly sent us a message. Ricardo Chavez, he is a well-known actor in the United States, especially to the Hispanic community, and he's a very kind soul who became acquainted with Spiritism and shares beautiful messages of the heart. He has a message for us.
My dear friends, I am Ricardo Chavez. Sometimes during the Christmas season we feel melancholic or sad due to not being able to be with our loved ones, or simply because of our society's materialistic consumerism. We relate to the Christmas season, which has made us used to the idea that the most important aspects of Christmas are the money and gift giving. But we need to remember that everything we do and go through in life only carries the meaning that we give to it. The true reason for the celebration of Christmas is the arrival of our Divine Master Jesus on earth. So let's remind ourselves why we celebrate. I invite you to do much more than just buy gifts for your friends and family. We need to bring consoling, light, comfort and hope to those who need it the most and who during this time of the year, when much of the world is going through the winter season, they might be suffering from the cold or hunger on top of their sadness. When we do something for another, several things happen. The first one is that we forget for a time of our own problems and we focus on the problems of others. Secondly, we are reminded that our problems, although serious to us, are not serious on a larger scale compared to the problems of others. And thirdly, a boomerang effect takes place, where we receive fluids of love, peace, and balance. So in the end, we are really helping ourselves when we go out of our way to help others. So let's do it together. I send my love to all of you, and may God guide you today and always. I wish you blessings and lots of peace. Merry Christmas. Ricardo Chavez.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you for your beautiful, loving messages. Ricardo Chavez is a well-known actor, author, life coach, speaker, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. Really a loving heart in the United States. And here we have messages from the President and the Vice President of the United States Spiritist Federation, Josiah Korngold, and also Tanya Schwartz. Let's listen from their messages to you, dear listener, for this very program today.
Hello, dear listeners. My name is Josiah Korngold, and I'm the current President of the United States Spiritist Federation. Well, Christmas for some may be a joyous time, for they have next to them loved ones who will be together for the festivities. However, there are many who do not have this blessing, who feel abandoned and alone. This can lead them to believe that God has forsaken them. We have to remember that we are all children of God, and that God and the benefactors will always be with those who seek for them. So Christmas is actually a time for renewal, renewal of the soul, of the inner dispositions, and good resolutions. It is a time to remind us to bring Jesus and his teachings to our hearts. We are never alone because Christ is in us and he loves us unconditionally. Have a happy holiday.
On behalf of the Kardec Spiritist Group of Austin in Texas, we wish all listeners of Kardec Radio a Merry Christmas filled with love, knowing that either surrounded by family and friends or by yourself, you are surrounded by the love, understanding, and care of the superior spirits who are always by our side. Enjoy this feeling with happiness in your heart. Merry Christmas.
Dear listener, we also have some of our Kardec Radio hosts kindly also sharing this message on Christmas Day, and also for those who are feeling the blues. So here we have Luis Sergio Maroda and John De Rosa. We also have our Marco Magalhães and many others. Let us listen from their loving messages.
Dear listener, it's Christmas again. Every time we study or bring to you through the year the message of the Spirits explaining Jesus' teachings from their point of view, there's nothing more important behind that message than the notion of love, forgiveness, and fraternity. And this is the time when these ideas come stronger into our hearts. They may seem worn out words, but this is because we've forgotten to try and practice them. We wish you all a Christmas with a victory on little but important challenges. Say hello to someone you think you should be kind to, but you haven't been recently, or for a long time. Bring a cup of water to that brother you need to make peace with. Little brightened gestures that can bring to all a Merry Christmas. A Merry Christmas from Kardec Radio.
Hello, dear Kardec Radio listeners. This is Marco Magalhães from the Toronto Spiritist Society, and today I have a little message about this very important time of the year that we celebrate the birth of our Master Jesus. Although this is a wonderful time of the year, as the music says, a lot of people will get anxiety, frustration, stress, and research shows that about 38% of people will feel an increase in stress during this time of year. And this may be related to the lack of money for up to 67% of people. Time, the hype of commercialism, the pressure of giving or getting gifts, increasing debt, dieting, travel, family commitments. So there are many reasons why people may feel stressed this time of year. There are also some external reasons. For example, we have political issues, wars, some difficult times that many people are going through, not only here in North America, but in many other places around the world. So the message that I have to you today is very simple, and I'm going to start with one question. When was Jesus born for you? Because if you look at the data that we have scientifically analyzing the dates of possible dates for Jesus to be born, We know that he was likely not born on the 25th of December, and most likely he wasn't even born on year zero in our calendar, and not in the winter as we celebrate here today. But for sure, for each one of us, Jesus was born in a specific time. Actually, I'll give you a few examples. In the book Em Torno do Mestre from the Brazilian Spiritist Federation, he asks hypothetically to some very, very important spirits that incarnated in this planet, when was Jesus born for you? And he asks Mary of Magdala, and Mary Magdala would certainly answer, Jesus was born in Bethlehem. It was once that his voice, so full of purity and holiness, awoke me the feeling of a new life with which I had never dreamed. So this is the day that Mary, hearing the voice of Jesus Christ, transformed her life forever. And what about Francis of Assisi? He would certainly answer, he was born on the day in the square of Assisi where I gave my bag, my clothes, and even my name to follow him unconditionally, knowing that he alone is the inexhaustible source of love. And what about Paul of Tarsus? He would certainly answer, Jesus was born on the Damascus road, when surrounded by intense light that blinded me. I could see the serene and noble figure who wondered, Soul, soul, why do you persecute me? And in the blindness, I saw a new world. And I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? And what about John the Evangelist? He would certainly answer, Jesus was born on the day that my understanding, enlightened by his divine grace, allowed me to know that God is love. And we can even ask John the Baptist, and he would certainly answer, Jesus was born at the instant he reached the Jordan River, asked me to baptize him. And before the tenderness of his gaze and the majesty of his figure could hear the message of the high, this is my beloved Son, in whom I have put my complacency. I realized that it was time for him to grow up and for me to decline to the glory of God. So, dear listeners, as you can see throughout history, we're here celebrating the birth of Jesus. But it's not only celebrating a date that he incarnated on this planet, because Jesus as a spirit has lived since the creation of our galaxy, and even before that. We don't know. We cannot tell for sure. But there's one thing all of us know, is that Jesus was born for us in a specific time. It may have happened already, or may yet to happen for some of us. But was Jesus born to you? Did you allow Jesus to be born in your life? The day that we fully understand the message of love that Jesus brings into our lives, that's the day that Jesus was born to us. Now it's up to us to search for that message, to study, to understand, to feel it, and to really celebrate Jesus every single day and every time. Because the only way to celebrate Jesus is to live by the message of love, exactly like Paul of Tarsus, Saul, did when he saw Jesus and he was transformed on that day. So, dear listeners, let us take today, let us take this moment as the time where Jesus is born in our lives, as this message of love can grow inside our hearts once and forever. And for all of those that are stressed by so many reasons, as we noticed in the beginning of this message, that the research shows us how many reasons we have to be upset and stressed this time of year, put that aside and let's fill our hearts with the real message of Christmas, which is the birth of love in the core of our souls. Dear listeners, I would like to say Merry Christmas to every single one of you from the Toronto Spiritist Society. And may all of us take this moment to rethink our existences, think about the future, and think about the many, many reasons why we should thank God at this moment. Thank you, all of you, and so be it.
Dear listener, this is Marco Magalhães from the Toronto Spiritist Society, also one of Kardec Radio's hosts. He and his wife Joyce have helped Kardec Radio for the longest time, producing the program Spiritism in Your Life. And they have an adorable child, Daniel. You know, we also have messages that were recorded for you at Kardec Radio today for these special moments. You know, talking about Kardec Radio's hosts, we have here with us the message by Francisca Kranz and Mackenzie Mello. Every Wednesday, they stream at 5 p.m. a beautiful program, the study of the books by André Luiz. They've done the study of the book. They read the book and discuss No Solar, The Messengers. Now they're doing Sex and Destiny, which is amazing. And here we have Fran and Mackenzie for you.
Dear Kardec Radio listeners, hello from Germany. My name is Franziska Fernbach, and I coordinate a small study group in Munich called the Spiritist Group of Munich. Hermine and I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and we really hope that the spirit of Christmas, the celebration of Jesus coming to earth and showing us how to love, giving his wonderful example as our guide and model, will be reminded in our hearts not only today, but for the rest of 2017 and of our lives, for that matter. We wish you all the best for the next year, and we're looking forward to meeting you again at our study on Kardec Radio Wednesday, 5 p.m. At the moment, Sex and Destiny.
Hello, dear friends. I am Mackenzie Mello. Maybe you recognize my voice because I am also a host, together with Francisca, of one of the shows of Kardec Radio on Wednesdays. I live in the city of Salem in Massachusetts here in the United States. And the Spiritist group that I go to here is in the city of Peabody, which is close to Salem. The Spiritist group is called Grupo Espírita Cantinho de Luz in Portuguese, and we translate it as the Little Spot of Light Spiritist Group. But its formal name is Allan Kardec Spiritist Society of Peabody. But today's reflection is not about our shows, is not about what we do here on Kardec Radio specifically, but more to think about the one we are celebrating, his life and his birth. Yes, that's right. Our dear Master, our dear friend, Jesus. Jesus was born, and it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter when, for specifics. We know that was around 2,000 years ago. And I hope that Jesus, up to this day, is still being born inside of us every single day. We also hope that during this time of the year, we take more care in looking at him, in feeling him, because once he was set to be here with us, he decided that he would not force anyone to follow him, but he would send invitations. And that's what he did, and that's what he does for all of us. He invites us to go take a walk with him, look at him, look at his life, look at what he does, look at what he did, and maybe we can decide by ourselves to follow his guide, to follow his lead as a model for all humanity. And I would also like to, remembering not the old Jesus or the Jesus that died in the cross, but remembering him as a child, remembering him as being taken care by Mary, by Joseph, by all his friends around him. Nobody can flourish alone and only by himself or by herself. We always need someone to be around. So we are hoping that we are able to choose to be around him. If we remember, Jesus is the spiritual governor of our planet. Therefore, we are very young compared to him. So, in a way, we can say that we are children. And I remember a passage in the Bible when the apostles are around him and Jesus is talking to a group of people, and then there are children playing around him, and the apostles don't want to let those children get close to Jesus. It is when Jesus looks at all of them and say, look, let those children, let those little ones come to me. Do not forbid them to be close to me. Do not hinder them, because the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are similar to those children. So my message, my Christmas message this year is an invitation, not an invitation from me, but an invitation from Jesus himself. Let's be like those children. And once we are able to do so, to have the innocence, being pure in our hearts, we will be happier. I hope that you all, with your families, with your loved ones, with your friends, and even if you are alone, remember, we are never alone. We always have our dearest friends from the spiritual realm together with us. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas, hoping that 2017 is great for everyone in your life.
Ooh la la. It feels good, right? And to give us more and more, here we have our dear friend Norma. Norma Guimarães is from one of the oldest, if not the oldest, and forgive me, Spiritist centers in New York. Let's listen from her.
Hello, friends. This is Norma Guimarães Hoppe from the Allan Kardec Spiritist Center, New York. It's Christmas time. Let's be happy and enjoy the season. Let's think, what are we really celebrating? We celebrate the birth of Jesus, the Son of God that came to bring truth and light into the world, to teach us and guide us through his words and things he did. Let's spread the love of Jesus among all brothers and sisters on this Christmas and through the new year. Best wishes to every family on the earth with the peace and love in our hearts. God bless everyone.
Dear Kardec Radio listener and workers, my best wishes for a peaceful Christmas and a new year with love and blessings from our dear Master Jesus. We celebrate his birthday, and he is the most important guest in our home and family. With love to all, Elsa Rossi from the United Kingdom. Bye.
You know, our friends, Elsa Rossi, Norma, everyone, they made such a wonderful job sharing with us. They are from the United Kingdom and etc. We also have friends who have kindly shared their messages. And you know, Brian Foster, who is in Seattle, he is one of the hosts at Kardec Radio. He has a live program that goes through every Sunday at 8 p.m. So, 7 p.m., sorry. Do not forget, Brian Foster, every Sunday with you, and here's his message for us.
Hello, this is Brian Foster from Northwest Spiritism. I want to give everyone a hearty Christmas wish and blessings for all of us so we can reflect on this time of the year and what a wonderful life we lead and how lucky we are to be allowed to be on earth learning the lessons that we need to learn.
Hello, my friends from Kardec Radio and Vanessa. This is Angie from Inner Enlightenment Spiritist Society in New York City. So I'm stopping by just to wish you a wonderful Christmas. And because Christmas is just in a few days, we should think about a gift that Jesus would like from us. So what would be good? As usual, would be doing something good for somebody else. So if you can, do some kind of a charitable act, even if it's just a small, even if it's just a small thing like a smile or a positive word or something little for a stranger, or if you can do something better, do something bigger. Get together in a group, find a special cause, help somebody. This would be the gift that Jesus would love to receive from us. And I also wish you a lot of health in 2017, because I always say the most important thing we need in our lives is health. Everything else we can work hard and we will be able to get somehow. So let's be positive and pray that our beautiful planet will be better in 2017. We know we are going through a transitional moment, so it's hard right now. But let's be positive. Let's pray together for the benefit of our planet and all the people that live in it. And it will be a better year for all of us. So thank you so much for your beautiful work, for all the talks we listen, all the people that come, always bringing inspirational topics and scientifical mixed with spirituality. It's really, really good. We deeply appreciate, and we are always sharing it with our Facebook pages and groups. So thanks a lot again. God bless all of you, and thank you so much. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you so much for your joy. You know, friends, Fred Gouveia, Angie, Elder, Adilson, and many others, friends of ours, they are from the Inner Enlightenment Spiritist Society in Manhattan, New York. Go to their website, innerenlightenment.org, and you get to know more information about it. Now we have some friends from the Spiritist side of Virginia. We also have a lovely group here that is taking care of the headquarters of Kardec Radio and the Spiritist magazine, and some of them kindly were able to share their message. And here we have the first of them, Leticia and Giuliano. Let's listen from them.
Hello, I am Leticia.
And I am Giuliano.
We are members of the Spiritist Society of Virginia.
And today we'd like to send you a special holiday message. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes, dear listen, this is our group. As fun as it can be. And here's also our dear friend Narciso. Narciso actually recorded a video. We're going to post it on Facebook. But you're going to listen from him. He is from the Spirit side of Virginia, but he was born in the Philippines. So let us listen from Narciso.
Hello, friends from the Kardec Radio. My name is Narciso. I am a member of Spiritist Society of Virginia. I am the light man of the center. I turn off the light before prayer and turn on the light after prayer. I wish you all Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, just so you have a feeling about our group. It's as funny as it can sound. We have a lot of fun together. It's a loving group. We have more messages also from Vanessa Shields. She lives in Seattle, but she has study sessions with us through Skype for the last 3 years or more. And she's also one of the editors of the programs on Thursdays at Kardec Radio, broadcasting medical spiritist talks and also spiritist talks for us. So here's Vanessa.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Shiatz, and I'm from Seattle, and I'm a part of the Spiritist Society of Virginia. I'd like to share with you today a message from Living Spring. It is passage 163, entitled, Let Us Learn with Jesus. Any activity by a group is impossible unless it is based on tolerance. Let us learn with Christ. People experience the law of cooperation in their own bodies. Without such law, they would not be able to live on earth. If the stomach did not bear the excesses of the mouth, if the hands did not obey the impulses of the mind, and if the feet did not bear the weight of the organic machine, physical harmony would be impossible. Complaining disfigures the dignity of work and keeps it from getting done. It is crucial to renounce our petty desires so that we may acquire the capacity of sacrifice, which will serve as a structure for our sublimation at higher levels. For our labor to elevate us, we must elevate it. For our task to help us, we must make ourselves available to help it. Let us remember that the supreme head of teams involving Christian service is always Jesus. As members of them, our chance to do something is, by itself, a valuable reward. Therefore, let us forget all evil, so that we may do all the goodness within our reach. And so, that we may act according to these rules, we must forbear with one another as brothers and sisters, learning with the Lord, who shows infinite tolerance toward us. I wish you all a wonderful holiday. And thank you,
dear friend,
for letting me be a part of this.
Thank you, dear friend. And you know, we also have more here. John DeRosa. John DeRosa. He's the voice of the Kardec. Can you believe it? Yes. We have the audiobook. Go to KardecRadio.com. We have audiobooks there. And one of them was put together by John DeRosa and Steve Shepard. John DeRosa and Steve Shepard read the book, The Spirit's Book by Allan Kardec. And he's here sharing a message for you.
Hello all. This is John DeRosa, a member of the Spiritist Society of Virginia. You may know my voice from the reading of the Spirit's Book, as Allan Kardec asks the question and Steve Shepard answers them. I'd like to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. And as we look forward to the New Year, there's a segment from one of the Spiritist pamphlets, Spiritism in its Simplest Expression. And I'd like to read you one segment on page 55. It starts out, with selfishness, people are in a constant struggle with one another. With charity, they will be at peace. Only by basing their institutions on charity can they be assured of happiness in this world. According to Christ's words, only charity can assure their future happiness, for it implicitly entails all the virtues that can lead them to perfection. By means of true charity, such as the kind taught and practiced by Christ, there will be no more selfishness, pride, hatred, jealousy, or defamation. There will be no more disorderly attachment to worldly assets. This is why Christian Spiritism holds to the maxim, without charity there is no salvation. And so be it.
And so be it. Here we are. We have more for you. Friends from Brazil also sending their messages to us at Kardec Radio. kindly our dear friend Andrew Moreira, who is an international spiritist speaker. He is a physician. He is a psychotherapist. He is also a medium, a writer, writing medium, and he's here at Kardec Radio sharing a beautiful message for us. Let's listen with our open hearts.
Hi, dear listeners of Kardec Radio. This is André Moreira, and I'm here to give you a brief message about Christmas. This is a very important and joyful day for many people that celebrate Jesus' life, legacy, and birth. Jesus represents transformation, reconciliation, forgiveness, peace, connection with God, and development of virtues inside ourselves. So those who celebrate Jesus not only celebrate a great personality that has changed the time of our time, but also and most of all celebrate the symbol and example that Jesus is and was, and use him as a model to reach their own path through happiness and through a great connection with God. But for many people, this is a moment of sadness and of loneliness. Maybe you are the one who are struggling with any kind of disease or in a difficulty that may lead you to think or feel that life is not worth it. So, especially for you, I send this message, because this is a message of hope. I feel that we are surrounded by an immense love that comes from God, an unconditional love that gives us all we need to support our tests in life, to cope with our disease and difficulties, and to let things pass and go on in our life. So maybe you have lost someone through death, and I would like to say to you that death is not a reality. Death is part of the material life, and it's only a change of body. Death is a process of transformation, but those that we love, they are not dead. They are still alive, and they are in the spirit realm, very alive, feeling what we feel, perceiving what we think, and receiving our message in their hearts. So if you have someone that has already passed to the spiritual realm, someone that has already come back home, give to them your special love. Send them your special vibration. Ask them to send to you the same. Do not allow your heart to be filled by guilty, by sorrow, by a rebellion that do not accept the reality and do not accept the change that life invites us to do. Fill your heart with the better part of yourself. Fill your heart with acceptance, forgiveness, and use prayer as a very important tool to connect with your inner force and with the force of the universe. Prayer is not only a great connection with God and those that represent it. Prayer is a connection with that immense part of God that is part of ourselves. Through prayer, we activate our inner divine essence, and this allows us to be in peace. I remember a very difficult time of my life when I feel lonely and I feel abandoned. At that time, when I was crying and going through a very hard time, something very important was taught to me. I learned that I need to give myself my own compassion and my own self-love. So at that time, when I was going through the worst moments of suffering, I decided to take my hand and to put it in front of my heart and to tell myself, be patient, this is gonna pass by. You do not worth it to suffer more than you are already suffering. So trust God and trust life. And so at that time, I experienced a very peaceful feeling and sensation. And I repeated that as many times as I needed. And it was a very important tool to reach a space of peace inside my heart. So if you're suffering, if you're going through hard times, if you are thinking that you should destroy yourself or your life, so I tell you, don't do it. Discover inside yourself the inner presence of God. Try to find people that support you. Try to accept the friendship of someone, the help of others, or even if you feel lonely inside of a crowd or a family, try to find those that suffer more than you. Maybe you can give them a very special piece of love of your heart. Maybe you can give them a moment of satisfaction, of joy, and this can be for you also a moment of relief and of inner joy. So, as I said, we are surrounded by an immense and unconditional love that gives us and support us in any and every condition. So experiment prayer, experiment faith, experiment friendship. Try to reach this space of peace inside yourself. Ask God to help you in this process, and you will be helped. Jesus said, "Those who ask will find it." He was very assertive. He did not said, "Those who look for maybe will find." He said, "Those who look for will find it." So look it for your life and look for things that give you the strength that you need to support and to go on, and you will find. I send you my best vibrations of love, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas, a Christmas of Jesus, of reconciliation, forgiveness, peace, joy, and affection. May God be always with you, and may you be always with God. Merry Christmas.
How therapeutic is that, dear listener? Yes, our dear Dr. Andre Moreira here with us, sharing this message from the bottom of his heart. He's really the real deal. He really walks his talk. He spends time around the world helping people without asking for any reward, and especially in a beautiful program, Fraternity Without Borders. This program is a must for you. Go fraternitywithoutborders.org And as he said, we can overcome the blues of Christmas by reaching out to those who are suffering much more than we are. And you don't doubt it, because there are people who are certainly suffering more than us. Talking about walking the talk, here we have our friend Julio Carvalho from New Jersey. He recorded a message for Kardec Radio, and we have actually two messages. We're able to stream one of them and listen from Julio Carvalho from the Divine Light Spiritist Society and rejoice.
Christmas, New Year, New You. There is a mythical story about the eagle. It says it has a very long lifespan. And the reason the eagle is able to live for so long is because when he is about 30 years old, he has a choice to make. Either he will die or he will make some sacrifices. How come he might die? His beak is too old to tear up flesh the way he used to. His feathers are withered, so he cannot fly as fast as he used to. And his claws are too weak to grab fish. Therefore, he chooses to get into a cave. And the first thing that he would do, he would gently but constantly knock his beak against the wall. A new beak will grow, and with that beak, he's able to remove his old claws. With new claws, he's able to remove the old feathers, and then he could take flight for the next 30 years. The heart of the story is sacrifices. Sacrifices are needed in order for change to happen. In this time of the year, the sentence most heard would be Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Unfortunately, the sentence is said so automatically that its deepest meaning goes completely unnoticed. What is Christmas, and what that has to do with having a new year? Christmas is the birth of Christ, who is not only an individual, but an embodiment of love. Ultimately, Christmas means the birth of love. In that sense, it should not be just a pagan party that happens on December 25th, but rather an individual occurrence in our lives. Real Christmas will be when you allow love to be born inside your heart. How can we allow love to be born inside our hearts? That's what the Nativity story is all about. When Mary and Joseph arrived at Bethlehem and they tried to get some space in different inns, they all say they are occupied. In reality, they still had spaces, but those businessmen, knowing that more people will arrive at Bethlehem, they were reserving the rooms for people who could pay more. This is the symbol of greed, selfishness, and pride. That's when Joseph and Mary finds instead a manger, and Christ is born. The manger is the symbol of humbleness, of humility. Humbleness and pride are incompatible. What that means, if our hearts are full of greed, selfishness, and pride, it is impossible for love to be born inside us. Many people will say Happy New Year, but there will be nothing new of the Happy New Year in 2015 if we keep our old ways inside us. Sacrifices must be made for us to have a definitely new year. In that sense, I wish you a true Christmas. I wish you the birth of love inside you. So 2015 can definitely be a happy new year for all of us.
Yes, this is a message from Julio Carvalho. And Julio, we are going to rescue your second message for this Christmas here, but this is his message for us at Kardec Radio. He's also one of the hosts of the Spiritist Awareness Program every Friday. He has programs every Friday, and he records it and sends it to us. And our beloved editor, Carla Smith from Connecticut, she kindly puts everything together and broadcasts it for us. We have beautiful programs. Bernadette Leal also is one of the hosts. She sent us a message, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to stream today. Hopefully we're going to rescue it and send it to you. We broadcast it on our next program, so we really apologize for it. For now, messages from some friends at Kardec Radio and also hosts at Kardec Radio, Karen Mark, Kardec Radio for Kids, and a Spiritist side of Virginia friends. Let us listen from them and rejoice.
Hello, friends. I'm Carol.
And I'm Mark.
From Kardec Radio for Kids. If you, dear friend, are experiencing the blues, you are not alone. If you are experiencing the feeling that you are a fish out of the water, or you don't belong anywhere, or you are literally out of this world because you don't fit anywhere you go, if you are feeling as though you are invisible before others' eyes, that your feelings don't matter, and that your life does not make a difference for those around you, you are definitely not alone. You are human. These feelings, dear friends, are valid feelings that are part of our shared experience. All of us here, myself included, have already felt overwhelmed because we were facing a serious crisis. We were missing people who are no longer around us. We felt as though we don't belong. So we understand, dear listener, where you are, and we would like to send you a very beautiful, beautiful, loving, warm embrace to let you know that us here at the Kardec Radio family love you beyond words. We would like you to feel as though we are there by your side. And please remember, dear friend, that you are an immortal spirit, just like any of us. And as such, you have a beautiful spiritual family around you, and they never forsaken you. You have your guardian angel, and you have the Master himself, Jesus, whose birthday we will be celebrating shortly. He once said, whenever there are people thinking of me, I will also be there. And for those who are afflicted, I will be by their side to allow them to surrender their pain to me. So please know, dear listener and dear friend, that your spiritual family is there for you, and that your guardian angel is always by your side, and that you are a gift to the world, a gift to all of us at the Kardec Radio family that are part of the Kardec Radio family. And we hope that you can feel our warm embrace of respect, of kindness, of fraternity, and compassion.
Yes, and while many of us may struggle with our family and friend connections on the material plane, all of us are connected together spiritually in many beautiful ways. So through prayer and through the loving guidance of our mentors, allow us now to remind ourselves that we're all beautifully connected and loved, that we are love, and that everyone around us is connected by these invisible threads of love. Let's share the beautiful message of Christ and the beautiful message of love that he brought to the world and reminded us that we are all children of God. Thank you, beautiful, loving spirits, for this beautiful gift of togetherness on this holiday season in both the material and spiritual planes. So be it.
So be it. And please know, dear friends, that you matter. That, as Mark said, you are a beautiful child of God.
Hello, Kardec Radio friends. My name is Daisy, and I'm a member of the Spiritist Society of Virginia. Today I want to read a very special message to you from the book Living Spring, psychographed by Francisco Cândido Xavier by the Spirit Emmanuel. The message is called Christmas. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to men of good will. Luke chapter 2, verse 14. Announcing the great renewer, the angelic legion at the manger spoke no word of violence. Glory to God in the divine universe, peace on earth, goodwill to men and women, bequeathing the new age of safety and tranquility to the world. The Supreme Father do not vest the heavenly ambassador with powers to injure or destroy. No punishment for the greedy rich, no punishment for the desperate poor, no disdain for the weak, no condemnation for sinners, no hostility towards the proud Pharisee, no anathema against the unaware Gentile. Using the hands of Jesus, the divine treasure was poured out for the work of goodwill. The justice of an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth has finally encountered love, ready and willing for the sublime selflessness all the way to the cross. Amazed before the light born in the stable, people and animals express indescribable joy. From that unforgettable moment on the earth would be renewed. The torturer would be worth of compassion. The enemy would become a misguided brother or sister. The criminal would be regarded as ill. In Rome, the people would gradually cease the slaughter in the circus. In Sidon, slaves would no longer have their eyes gouged out by the cruelty of their masters. In Jerusalem, the sick would no longer be relegated to the valleys of the filth. Jesus brought the message of true fraternity, and revealing it, he passed victoriously from the straw manger to the bloody cross. Brothers and sisters, you who hear the sweet echoes of the angels' miraculous song at Christmas, remember that the Masters came to us that we may love one another. Christmas, good news, goodwill. Let us extend sympathy to all, and let us truly begin to live with Jesus in the splendor of a new day. Dear friends, I wish you lots of joy, hope, and courage, that in this beautiful time of the year, you can feel even close to our Master and Guide Jesus, and then we can love one another and construct peace on earth. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Luciana, a spirit member of the Spirit Society of Virginia. I'm here to send you guys a Christmas message from Brazil. This is a special moment where we call Jesus being born on earth. Even though this is not his date of his real birth, in this time of the year, we always gather together with families and friends to celebrate this great moment. It's a moment where we are thinking in Jesus, in God, in love, the most important feeling. So let us love one another and share with everyone in this universe this love energy that we all need and we all look for. So I'm sending a Merry Christmas message from the bottom of my heart for all of you that are listening to Kardec Radio today. I found a message psychographic by Raul Teixeira in November of 2011. It's a Christmas message. I would like to read for you guys now. The message called Christmas is Life. Christmas is life. Here is Christmas breathing on us now, breathing blessings from Jesus to the world. Share his fruitful love, Christmas that blooms new hope with us. When it's Christmas, our being is anchored in brotherly love, in deep meanings. We seek peace from second to second for our planet that gas. When it's Christmas, there is always a new song with bringing Jesus to help the people he never to be alone. Christmas is life that abundantly express lesson of heavens that transform and redeems. If Jesus be reborn with us, we will feel this spirit, the Christmas spirit inside of each one of us. This is a message by the Spirit Sebastian Lasnau, psychographed by Raul Teixeira. Merry Christmas, everyone. Enjoy your family and your loved ones.
Yes, and even the dogs there are saying Merry Christmas to us. Thank you, Luciana, for the message and for the beauty of the Sebastian Lasnau's message through our Teixeira. Dear friends, we have a few more messages here. Now, Wolf Fonseca from Spiritist Group, he used to be a Kardec Radio host with Gabi, and he sent a message for us.
Hi, this is Naur Fonseca from the Allan Kardec Spiritist Society of Massachusetts, and I wish all the listeners from Kardec Radio a Merry Christmas. Christmas is my favorite time of the year because it reminds me of the baby Jesus, reminds me of the Mother Mary, and how every baby comes into the world with something great to accomplish. Jesus was and is a great example in my life, and I try to follow him, to apply his message of love, and I try to see every child as a little baby Jesus in my life as an educator in the Spiritist Society. So Merry Christmas you all, and a prosperous New Year.
Hello, my friends. My name is Nazareno Feitosa, and I am a voluntary worker in Comunhão Espírita de Brasília. It's a pleasure to be here in Kardec Radio, sending a little message of Christmas for you. And I would like to read a Christmas message by the Espírito Emmanuel, psychographed by Francisco Cândido Xavier. It's on the book Green Light, Sinal Verde, in Portuguese. And the name is A Christmas Message. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to men on whom his favor rests. It's in Luke 2:14. Emmanuel comments, the hymn of the angelic legions in the divine night manifests the Father's devised plan regarding the apostleship that would be designated for the newborn Master. The celestial praise synthesized in little treat statements the platform
for the whole of Christianity. A Christmas Message by the Espírito Emmanuel, psychographed by Francisco Cândido Xavier, from the book Green Light, Sinal Verde. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to men on whom his favor rests. It's on Luke 2:14. Emmanuel comments, the hymn of the angelic legions in the Divine Night manifests the Father's divided plan regarding the apostoleship that would be designated for the newborn Master. The celestial praise, synthesized in three little statements, the platform for the whole of Christianity. Glory to God in the highest, meaning our indispensable consecration to the supreme law. From the bottom of our heart and soul. Peace on earth, translating into the brotherhood that must compel and motivate us in our everyday life towards everyone. Goodwill toward men defines our obligations regarding spontaneous service to others, some ahead of others in humanity's great journey. Christmas expresses renewal of the soul and of the world, comprised in love, solidarity, and work. Formerly, those that declared themselves to be in service to God presented the winner's purple color pilled over cadavers and spoils from the vanquished. With the arrival of the celestial messenger, born in the manger, we have the divine victor gathering the weak, the suffering, the poor, the humble, for the revelation of universal goodness. In the past, armies and entrapments, calamities and dangers, rains of mud and mire of for the bloody conquest were utilized. Now, however, a heart armed with love opens to the understanding of all the pain encountering the souls. It does not curse, it does not condemn, it does not cause pain. It fortifies the good deeds. It teaches and passes. It aids and proceeds forth. It consoles the afflicted ones without forgetting to consecrate the joyous marriage of Cana in Galilee. It is comfortable with the disciples in the domestic garden, yet it does not abandon the crowds in the public square. It exalts feminine virtues in Peter's home. However, it does not belittle the misguided Magdalene. It shares the plain bread with the fishermen, yet it does not overlook the publican's banquet. It cures Bartimaeus, the forgotten blind man. However, it does not disregard the deluded wealthy Zacchaeus. It is grateful for the nobility of its friends. On the other hand, it does not scorn the cross among the thieves. Christ in the manger was a representation of the Father on this earth. The Christian in the world is Christ in life. Christmas. Glory to God. Peace on earth. Goodwill toward men. If you can already hear the message of the unforgettable night, remember that goodwill to all is always our primary duty. Emmanuel by Francisco Xavier from the book Follow Me. So, thank you all. God bless all of you. God bless all the team of Kardec Radio. And may God give us a wonderful Christmas with Jesus and a happy New Year, fulfilled of joy, peace, and good to everyone. Bye-bye. My name is Nazariano Feitosa, and I'm a volunteer worker on the Comunhão Espírita de Brasília, Brazil.
Hello everyone, this is Guilherme Velho from GEAP, Grupo Espírita Amor ao Próximo, in Recife, Brazil. And I would like to wish Merry Christmas to everyone and a Happy New Year. And I've been learning a lot watching your video, Vanessa. Thank you so much. Has been a very great, very, very nice experience. Thank you so much.
Yes, we have kind of 30 people helping us today at Kardec Radio, sending their loving messages to all of you, dear listener. There's so much love around the world. Many people who kindly share their insights, their learning experiences. So right now we're going to wrap up Kardec Radio in this Christmas program by sharing with you a message, the call from Jesus, representing the divine Christ consciousness on the earth, calling us to walk with him. And we can represent this calling when he met the Senator Publius Lentulus. And he met the Senator Publius Lentulus and invited him to come. How often we're being called and we still give excuses. To wrap up the program today, it's going to be our message from Emmanuel to us in the book 2,000 years ago. Let us listen and rejoice, because this is the meditation. As soon as this message ends, we wish you Merry Christmas. We want you to reflect as much as each one of us. Let us reflect on the message of God to us through Christ Jesus.
He let the busy hours of the day slip away with the sunlight in the west, and as twilight poured out of its soft hues on the magnificent landscape, he left, pretending he needed to take a break, and stating he wanted to get to know the town's ancient fountain, one of the main attractions to outsiders. About 300 feet down the road, he met bystanders and fishermen who drew back and looked at him with undisguised curiosity. A whole hour passed as he pondered his anguish, lost in thought. An immense canopy of shadow had begun to settle over the entire region, filled with vitality and fragrances. Where would the prophet from Nazareth be at that moment? Mightn't the tales of his miracles and his enchanting magic over souls be a mere illusion? Wasn't it absurd to be looking for him on this road, disregarding the imperatives of social hierarchy? At any rate, he must be a simple, uneducated man, given his preference for Capernaum and fishermen. Giving free rein to the ideas flowing through his burning and distressed mind, Publius thought that a meeting with the master from Nazareth was highly unlikely. How would they understand each other? He had not been the least bit interested in a closer understanding of the dialect of the common folk. Jesus, of course, spoke Aramaic, commonly used in the Tiberias Basin. Profound doubts spilled from his mind to his heart, like the shadows of twilight before nighttime. The sky at that time of day turned a wonderful dark blue, whereas the opalescent light of the moon had not waited for the night to set in. The senator felt his heart lost in an abyss of infinite conjectures, beating erratically in his oppressed chest. Conflicting emotions tormented the innermost fibers of his spirit. He was unaware that he had leaned on a stone bench covered in bramble. His mind wandered in deep thought. He had never experienced such a feeling except in that memorable dream he had related only to Flaminius. He recalled the smallest details of his earthly life as he had temporarily abandoned the prison of his physical body. He felt a profound ecstasy before nature and its marvels, unable to express his admiration and acknowledgement of the powers of heaven. Such was the cloister in which he had always confined his proud, unyielding soul. Sweet fragrances seemed to emanate from the gentle waters of Lake Gennesaret, to blend delightfully with the wild scent of the foliage. It was then, as if his spirit were under the imperative of a strange general magnetism, that he heard the light footsteps of someone who had come looking for that same spot. There, before his anxious eyes, stood a unique, unmistakable figure. It was a young man who displayed a gentle and indefinable beauty in his profoundly merciful eyes. Long and silky hair framed his compassionate face like brown strands tinged with the gold of an unknown light. A divine smile, revealing at the same time immense goodness and singular energy, radiated an irresistible appeal from his melancholy, majestic figure. Publius had no difficulty identifying this impressive individual, but sentiments unbeknownst to him until then stirred wildly in his heart. Not even his appearance before Tiberius in the grandeur of Capri had aroused such feelings. Burning tears streamed from his eyes, which rarely wept, and a mysterious, invincible power made him kneel on the moonlit grass. He wanted to speak, but his chest felt heavy and suffocated. In a gesture of sweet, supreme goodness, the gentle Nazarene walked towards him like a materialized vision of one of the gods of his ancient beliefs. Lovingly placing his hand on his head, he asked him in an enchanting language, which Publius understood as perfectly as if it were the patrician idiom, indelibly etched in his soul the unforgettable feeling that the words were from spirit to spirit, heart to heart.
Why are you looking for me, Senator? It would have been better if you had come publicly and in broad daylight in order to learn once and for all the sublime lesson of faith and humility. But I have not come into the world to alter the supreme laws of nature. I have come here to meet your ailing soul.
Publius could not express his feelings, except for the copious tears of sorrow for his little daughter. The prophet, however, as if not needing to hear his unspoken words, continued.
No, I have not come to meet the superficial, proud statesman whom only centuries of suffering can lead to the bosom of my Father. I have come in answer to the pleas of a grief-stricken and oppressed heart. But above all, my friend, your sentiment is not what will save your leprous little daughter, forsaken by the science of the world, because your frame of mind is still selfish and human. Rather, it is the faith and love of your wife, for faith is divine. Only one ray of its powerful energies is enough to crush all the monuments of earth's vanities.
Profoundly moved and magnetized by this presence, it seemed to the senator that his soul was floating in a dream world. Such was the extent of the unknown and unexpected emotions flooding his heart. He wanted to believe that his true sentiments were now locked in an incomprehensible game of illusion.
No, my friend, you are not dreaming.
The master said kindly and compellingly, divining Publius's thoughts.
After many years of deviation from the path of the good due to your blatant wrongs, today you have come to the turning point for the regeneration of your entire life. It is up to you, however, to take advantage of it either now or in a few millennia from now. If the unfolding of human life depends on circumstances, you must consider that they come in all forms, leaving it up to individuals to exert the power of will and sentiment in seeking to align their destinies with the goodness and love for their fellow beings. At this very moment, a glorious point in time has arrived for your spirit, if you can utilize your freedom to forever imprint it on your heart, turning it into a hymn of love, humility, and faith in the not yet determined moment of redemption within eternity. But no one can impose an act that is against your conscience if it is your desire to spurn this blessed moment indefinitely. I have been the shepherd of human souls since the formation of the world. For many millennia I have tried to reunite my stray sheep to bring their hearts the eternal joys of the kingdom of God and His righteousness. All the powers of your empire are quite tenuous, and all its wealth is paltry. The magnificence of the Caesars is an ephemeral illusion that lasts one day, because all wise men, as well as all warriors, are called at the right time to the tribunals of justice of my Father in heaven. Someday its powerful eagles will cease to exist under a handful of miserable ashes. Its culture will be transformed by the efforts of other workers worthier of progress. Its unjust laws will be swallowed by the dark abyss of these centuries of impiety. For there is only one law, and it will survive the ruins of human unrest, the law of love, established by my Father from the beginning of creation. Now, go home, aware of the responsibilities of your destiny. If faith has established in your house what you regard as bliss because of your daughter's recovery, do not forget that it represents an increase in your soul's duties before our Almighty Father.